Hello, dear students. In this lecture, we are going to discuss the discriminant of quadratic equations. So, the quadratic equation we have is ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So, the quadratic formula is x is equal to minus b plus minus b square minus 4ac over 2a. So, sometime when we use this formula, we got one real root or two real root, and sometime we got no real root. So, the number of solutions or the number of real root of any quadratic equation actually depends on this thing, this b square minus 4ac inside the square root. So let's take an example. So for example, this we have x is equal to x square plus x minus 6 an equation. So use a quadratic formula for this equation. So the minus 1 plus minus b square is 1 and minus 4ac. So minus 4a is 1, c is minus 6. So I got plus 24 divided by 2. So after this, minus 1 plus minus 24 plus 1, 25 divided by 2. And when you solve this, minus 1 plus 5 plus minus 5 over 2. So after this, we can put minus 1 plus 5 divided by 2 and minus 1 minus 5 divided by 2. So in this way, we got two solutions of quadratic equation. If you look at this here, the b square minus 4ac or the discriminant, this is called discriminant, was positive. So now if you use a formula for this equation, x is equal to minus 1 plus minus minus 1, not minus 1, it is minus 4. The value of b is minus 4. B square is 16 minus 4ac, 4 into 1 and 4 into 4, 16. So 16 minus 16 would become 0. 2 into 1, 2. So this would be like this, minus 4 plus minus 0 over 2. And in this condition, if you look at this, minus 4 plus 0 over 2 and minus 4 minus 0 over 2, we will get the same answer, minus 2 and minus 2. So we can say that the root, there is only one real root, roots are repeated, or roots are same. So then use the formula for this equation. X is equal to minus 4 plus minus b square, that would be 16 minus 4ac. 4ac would become minus 32 divided by 2. So this would be minus 4 plus minus 16 minus 32 would become minus 16 divided by 2. So in this condition, if you look at this, we have negative 16 in square root. So we won't get any solution in this for this equation, because minus 16, this cannot be solved further, or this equation has no real root. So how can we summarize all these things? Just look at it. B square minus 4ac greater than 0 was the first case where we have 1 plus 24 and this thing is greater than 0, mean positive. If b square minus 4ac greater than 0, then it means two real roots exist. Two distinct real root exist. Distinct real root exist. So I will tell you why we use this thing or discriminant, where it use. So two distinct real root exist if b square minus 4ac greater than 0. If b square minus 4ac equal to 0, it means we have just only one real root. So either you can write one real root exist, one real root exist, or you can write that roots are repeated. Roots are repeated, or the two same real root exist. All statements are correct for this. Two roots are repeated or two same real root exist. So what about this thing, b square? If b square minus 4ac is less than 0, so we can write there is no real root, or no real root exist. No real roots exist. No real root exist. So why we use this, or where we use the discriminant, actually this tells us the nature of real root, not the root, but this discriminant tells us the, or explain the nature of the real root, that how many solutions we got at the end of the solution. So sometime we won't have to find the solution. For example, I have an equation for x square minus x minus 12 equal to 0. And the question be like this: find the nature of, roots of the equation. Find the roots of roots of equation, of this equation. So how do we find the nature of it? Means he's not asking about the roots of the equation. He's just asking about the nature of the root. It means we don't have to find, or we don't have to use the entire formula or use the factorization. We just tell him about the nature of the roots, that how many roots will exist for this equation. So we just use the discriminant. So discriminant tells us about the nature of the root. So discriminant is b square minus 4ac. So when we use the value of b would be minus 1 whole square 1, minus 4 into 1 will become minus 4, into minus 12 would become plus 48. So that would be 49. It means it is greater than 0. So we can write two real root exist. Two real root exist. So for another question, for example, bx square plus 16x plus 16x plus 64 equal to 0. So how can we find the roots of this equation, or find the nature of the real root? Nature of the roots of this equation, same statement. So we use b square minus 4ac. So a disk, we will find the disk, that b would be 16 square 256, minus 4 into a into c would be also 256, and this would become 0. So we can say that only one real root exists. Only one real root exists. Our roots are repeated, our roots are same. Only one real root exists. Or you can write down that the roots are same, or roots are repeated. Roots are repeated. So in the next example, if we have x square plus x plus 1 then equal to 0. So how do we find the nature of the roots for this equation? Same technique. This is equal to b square minus 4ac equal to 0, not equal to 0, but just we treat b square minus 4ac as an expression, not an equation. So b would be 1 square minus 4ac would become minus 4, and this would be minus 3. This is less than 0. So we can write no real root exists. No real root exists. So this is just a simple about the nature of the roots. So how do we find the nature of the roots? And we use a discriminant. So in this lecture, we just learn about the simple, that what is discriminant, or how can we use discriminant to find the nature of the roots. The further for different questions or the simultaneous solution of different equations, that how do we use a discriminant to predict the intersectional point, we will discuss in next lecture. Thank you.